northern Santa Fe. Looks to me like William Clayton might have been where we were last night. After traveling a little over 4 miles, we ascended a steep bluff. The road runs at the top of a little distance in a very crooked direction. The surface in some places being hard, uneven rock, which shakes and jars the wagons very much. In one place there was a little descent. At the bottom, a very sharp turn at the road over rough rock. Here Brother Crow's cart turned over. However, it was soon righted and no injury done to anything. And they were on their way once again to Oregon.
Okay, once again, driving down the road, see a historical marker, gotta stop.
Man, there's a lot of trails through this area. The Cheyenne Black Hills Trail passed from near this point between 1876 and 1887.
Okay, this is the old Army Bridge over the Platte River that was built in 1875. We have a trail. Between the cacti and the ant hills, this is a dangerous place out here.
Ran from October 1861 to April 1860 to October 1861. It ran from St. Joseph, Missouri to Sacramento, California. 120 riders, 650,000 miles, 1 killed by Indians, 1 schedule not completed, and 1 mail lost during the whole enterprise. Pretty impressive in terms of that.
Monument was erected in 1913. It was a military post on the Oregon Trail from June 16, 1849 to March 2nd, 1890.
October 24th, 1861, the telegraph line was completed, which was the end of the Pony Express. By the way, October 24th was a very good day.
Very small.
This is the guardhouse where they housed all the naughty people at the fort. And as you can see down below, when they excavated for the restoration of this guardhouse, they found that underneath were some of the cells from the solitary confinement of the earlier years. They used to take the repeat offenders and put them down in the basement, and 5-foot ceilings and tiny little spaces for them, just to, I guess, send the message. Welcome to a modern septic system in the 1860s. You had, this is where the latrine would stand, and you would do your business and it would flow down across those bricks through a limestone little pipe, and it would run from there. As you can tell, the river is right here, and it would run down to the river, flow down to the people down below you, and you could send them a nice message.
Hey, this was the old kind of gel. There's not even any windows, so you close that door, you are in there.
There's a little to the outside with rocks here, but I'm imagining if it rained, it came right in.
Oh. This was the administration building.
Part I find interesting is that they had a theater for performances on the left-hand side, a little auditorium.
And school for the children.
Over on the right.
On the right. It is so nice to know that the kids back then looked as excited to be in school as a lot of them do now. Look at how big and old this tree is. It can talk. It probably have all kinds of stories.
Which building is this, my love?
I don't know.
We'll find out once we walk in.
I guess, yeah.
But it's definitely got a view of the entire fort all the way around. There used to be boardwalks, gas lights, and everything all the way around this place.
Hey, look at the toilet.
Leave it to my wife to get excited by the toilet. Oh, little porta potty. It's pretty interesting the way they did research and came up with precisely how the buildings once looked and made sure that they are restoring them exactly as they were. I love the old flag. Okay, this building is called Old Bedlam. More to that later. This is actually the oldest standing structure in the state of Wyoming. And it's called Old Bedlam because it was a bachelor officers' quarters. And it was named after all the noise that you could say could be overheard when this building was fully occupied. This must have been the officers' club. Right next door to the pool hall, you could say. And it's real interesting when you look at the deck of the cards, and there are no denominations on them, just the pictures and the suits. Welcome to the barracks. 60 men. Oh, and of course, corncob checkers. Rifles in the stands, ready to go, and everything you need above your bunk. Repeating rifles, one of the best inventions when we came to warfare. And the mess hall. Everything was equipped here that they needed. They had the mess hall, commissary, everything under one roof.
Where's the wall? I don't know. I think we need to ask Trump.
One of the most commonly asked questions here, and with good reason. Those who grew up watching Western movies expect to see a fort with a large wooden stockade. Like many other aspects of Hollywood Westerns, the walled military fort makes for better entertainment than good history. One reason for Laramie lacked a wall was its timber was not abundant. The other reason had to do with the combat style of the Plains warrior, Indian warrior, who relied on mobility and preferred fighting on horseback to open terrain to siege warfare. The Army quickly recognized building walled forts was unnecessary and expensive. The military did, however, construct temporary fortifications here. The linear depression in front of you is all that remains of a rifle trench built in 1865. Well, Fort Laramie is deep in history, you could say, and it's interesting to see the way they have restored so many of the buildings. And 1890, they packed it up and they headed out, but it meant so much to the community. The school still continued. They had the only hospital in the area. They took care of civilians, charging them all of $1 a day to get hospital care. There were so many different things that they were responsible for, between guarding people on the wagon trains, to a Pony Express station, to taking care of the telegraph to make sure the line was okay, to help guarding the railroads as everything went west. It's pretty cool just to see how deep in history it really is.
Okay, this is Heartfelt, Wyoming. It's the oldest town in Wyoming, from what we were told when we were at Fort Laramie. It used to have 21 bars and 13 brothels.
this picnic shelter was built and designed by the Civilian Conservation Corps, CCC. The original hand-hewn logs. These things are massive. There's the fireplace. And if you go around, there's an observation deck. And slowly but surely, working our way up. Oh, she ran away on me. I think she's up here somewhere. There she is. You can sure see a long way. Okay, what do you think the restrooms are like? The original restrooms built by the Civilian Conservation Corps in the 1930s. Walk inside, all wood. How do you like that for a urinal? There you go. And then of course, you have to have your stalls come fully equipped with a hole. Well, at least they did provide toilet seats too. That is awesome. Hey, I think you're in the wrong spot. I took a pee in the $1 million Biffy. You know, I'm almost starting to get a complex. We show up to check out the castle. It's called the $1 Million Biffy, and some incredible views, and nobody else bothers to show up. Okay, this place is called Brimmer Point, named after some philanthropist and supporter of the park. And let me tell you, when you're up here, you are definitely at the top of the park. As you can see, this little point right there, you can walk up to the top and look over everything around. All right, walking up to Brimmer Point. My honey's being brave today. There's the truck. We left it over there because the drive up here was pretty white-knuckled. We got to that point and said, there's a good enough place to park. So you can tell the wind's blowing pretty strong today. Leslie's not brave anymore. Whew. I think you're pretty brave. Holy shit. Yeah, if you come over to this edge, gives you the idea. Pretty well straight down. They put these rocks up here for a reason, I suppose, to make sure that they kept us in. I don't think I'd want to do a high dive. They've dropped a car off of here in 1935. They drove a car off the cliff down into the water, and they repeated that for many years in a row as a celebration for the water carnival. Kind of scary.
Okay, we're up here at the top of Brimmer Point.
We're rotating.
It's a 360 view.